Yo, what's going on? It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. Oh, man. Sometimes we talk about dogs, sometimes we talk about other things. And it's interesting, you know what I mean? I might even post the analytics because you have people that come on these things, and like I told y'all, and everything is a Jedi mind trick. And I'm just explaining this to y'all because it is free game. I tell you, I always give you free game. I'm not going to talk about my personal life and my situations and this and that and the other, but the truth of the matter is that this, and I've told y'all this, and it's going to continue to happen all around the bully world. I'm very transparent with a lot of things on this page. And I talk about mental health struggles at times. I talk about struggles in my life of dealing with a multitude of situations. I always open up on this page. I don't sit here and just tell y'all a bunch of lies. But one of the things that I've gotten a lot of messages about that's funny, and y'all see people do it on this page. You can say anything on the internet, man. And I've seen them done it to a multitude of people. As my boy Mike say, it's part of the Me Too movement now. And the funniest thing about this is like, for instance, we'll be on this page and you'll see somebody, even I think the last time I tried to do a live, somebody decided to jump up on here and say, "Oh, why are you always in your car?" Do you know me, homie? Have you ever met me? Why are you asking about my car? Maybe it's because somebody said he lives out of his car. Somebody told you that silly lie, and you went along with it. You know what I mean? People want to know about your financial situations. Oh, I heard this. Oh, I heard that. Oh, I heard this. Oh, I heard that. And the funniest thing about all of this is that, if you put two and two together, none of it makes sense. And y'all have to start getting to a point to where we get out of the hyperbole mode and y'all stop falling into the traps of these people. The only things that should be discussed in the dog world is actual dogs. The only thing that should be discussed in the dog world is actually the health of the dogs, the way we put the dogs together properly. Are we treating the dogs properly, And the funniest part about it is I've seen so many breeders, like literally, I got into it with a guy the other day, and it wasn't even getting into it, but it was just to show you the mentality of the way that things are now, I sent him a message, basically, private message. And I tell this brother, hey, man, some people is trying to bash you about some things. I'm not even getting into that shit. I don't say that shit. You know what I mean? Like, certain things, if they talking about people's business and how they, whatever, with money and this and that, I don't get into it because I know people lie, or whatever. But I'm not trying to get into that, bashing you publicly about what they said about your dogs and this and that and the other. Keep in mind, I sent him a private message. First thing he does is he goes to the internet. You know what I mean? He got to make a Facebook page. He literally tried to take a shot at me for telling him what people are saying about him. And I use that as an example to say, you know what I mean? Right now, we live in an era on the internet to where everybody is more focused on how many people can I get to believe my story, whether it's a lie or not, than we are dealing with the ugly truth in our community. Like, I use myself as an example when people be like, "Oh, he's broke all the time. He's doing everything out of he lives out of a van, a beat down van," and you know what I mean. And it just like, I've been seeing it for so many years. I think I told y'all for once, because I never post what I drive or anything. You know what I mean. I feel like whatever, man. Some people like to floss a little bit, but I showed up in my Dodge, it's a very sporty car or whatever. And then the story became that I rented it for a couple years and this and that and the other. And all of these things, regardless, were just to deflect from the fact that we're here to talk about healthy dogs. That's all it was. You're going to hear all of these stories about, oh yeah, she's doing this with this person and she's doing that with that person, or he's doing this with this person, or this happened. And then they'll hear stuff about certain people. And then that's when it becomes like the Me Too movement, because you'll have people who have nothing to do with situations, never dealt with a person, don't know anything about her business or his business, and they'll jump in there and it's just like a big ass gossip thing. Meanwhile, the true topic that we have skipped over is the conditions of the dogs. And that's not only the condition that they're in currently, but the conditions that they live in. You know, we have a epidemic proportion of breeders who, when they get tired of their dogs, they drop them off at the dog pound, or they just let them run free. You know what I mean? Like I've always told y'all, go to your local animal shelter and you'll see this. You know what I mean? We have more deformities than anything. Legislation is picking up. I just seen some articles of where some places are considering making people apply and go through a process just to own a dog now, because dog ownership has become so irresponsible in many areas. You know, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of things that we're going to see that has to change one way or the other. And if people aren't putting their best foot forward to make these things change, then it's going to be a serious issue. You know, and like I told y'all, I could go on and on and on about all of the rumors and all of the nonsense that you hear. And the truth of the matter is that these people do this to dumb down conversations. They know that people lust for controversy. They know that people lust for lies. You know, so this is the way that they do what they do. You know, like I said, when the truth hits the fan, things get bad. You know, just like the individuals who were quote unquote going to destroy me. You know what I mean? Then they come back and they complain about losing, you know, crazy amounts of money because I told the truth about their elongated palates. You know, other people, you know, get in their feelings because I tell the truth about their hip issues or their heart murmurs, and they talking about you costing us money, and this is fucked up, and so many of the exotic people. But the truth of the matter is that, you know what I mean, that's the wrong type of money. You selling people beat up, deformed dogs, broke down dogs, dogs that are going to die in less than 2 years. You're destroying the dog world. You're creating a bunch of dogs that will either, you know, flood the animal shelters or will die very early in the hands of people who thought that they were getting a, you know, 10, 15-year pet and family member because you sold them this lie and this dream. We need to really put a focus on the proper thing, and the proper thing is making a better dog, not having to lie about the issues with the dogs and not having to hide the issues with the dogs themselves, you know, by hyperbole and talking crazy about people. But let's dig into the dogs and let's educate. You know, I'll talk about that some in my next video, but you know, our community is so uneducated. It's scary. You know, it's scary. But I just wanted to put that bug in y'all ear because a lot of y'all send me these messages and y'all want me to address a lot of things that are outside of dogs all the time, which I have done in the past, but I'm not really doing that anymore. I'm telling you, you know, open your eyes, you know, open your eyes. If you wanted to believe, and I'll use myself, I won't go into a few things with other people, but like I told you, I've been given information like pictures of people, you know, who are very prevalent in the dog community that are married and all this, and they want to talk about this guy having a family on the side. Like that's relevant to dogs. They want to talk about this man beating on his wife and sending pictures of her with a bunch of black eyes and different things. Like that's relevant to dogs. You know what I mean? It's all of this drama and all of this stuff that kicks away from, you know, from whatever. You know, if like I was about to say, I'll use myself as an example, is when when you start talking about, you know, they want to know what kind of car I drive, you know, where do I live, what happened with this, what happened with that, you know. Stick to the message, man. You know what I mean? Because people are going to make up stories all day long. I've heard some of the most outlandish stories ever, you know, and I've seen some wild shit that's true, but that has nothing to do with dogs either, you know. So I hope that, you know, going into 2023, the focus is on healthy dogs, the focus is on getting our community back together and forgetting about all this outlandish nonsense that people are spewing around here to try to, you know, basically just take away from the topic. No, I don't live in a car, for all of you that want to know. No, this is not a beat up car. My other car is not a beat up car. Whether that matters or not, I don't know why, but you know, all these different things, man. Don't let it take you away from the message. Healthy dogs matter. Let's breed right. Let's get our dogs back in order. Until next time, y'all, much love. God bless. Peace.